Hi guys, Tab here. Hope you're all keeping well. A topic recently caught my eye in one of the larger automotive magazines. I won't provide any names, but it's out there and you can have a read for yourself. And it's all about the future direction of McLaren. So we do know that Michael Leiters has been in place for some time now as the new CEO, and he's been providing guidance and hints about the future direction of McLaren and the route that that company is going to be taking. Now, here's the thing, they kind of let it drop, and it's no real secret anymore that indeed they are working on an SUV. And yes, I can hear all you McLaren aficionados, those of you that love a light car that you can throw around a track, almost wincing and providing me with some very silly faces in response to this. And yeah, you could argue, is it really the right direction for McLaren? Well, you've got to weigh up the competition here, right? So McLaren is a supercar manufacturer, and we've seen Lamborghini and Ferrari and Aston Martin even drop SUV variants of their cars. So the Lamborghini have the Urus, which has been wildly successful and still has a lot of demand and still commands great values. And of course, we've got the upcoming Ferrari Purosangue as well. A bit of a mouthful, that one, but it does indeed look stunning, the Purosangue, I have to say. I mean, the Roma I absolutely love. I think that's a beautiful car, and the Purosangue definitely has the echo of that design in it, even though it's a bit sort of jacked up, as you'd expect from an SUV. But the other thing about the SUV from McLaren, we don't know what it's going to be called yet, or indeed when it's going to drop, is that it's going to be all electric, okay? And I think, to me, McLaren have chosen that platform for their first electric vehicle because it's a safer bet. An SUV, it doesn't matter if it's a heavier car, and as light as they make the body, carbon fibre tub, for example, combination of carbon fibre and perhaps even aluminium, who knows, the real weight of an EV is the battery. So if you've got a 100 kilowatt battery pack, you're probably looking at about 600 kilos right off the bat, just for the batteries. And you can hide that a little bit better in an SUV. I don't think we'll see doors that open upwards either, those dihedral doors that are the hallmark of a McLaren and something I absolutely love. So you could say this is kind of a safety net, if you like, for making their first full battery-powered vehicle, which is quite an interesting shift for McLaren. We know the Artura, hybridized, but obviously small, light and nimble. You can't put a big battery in there, and it's only got a 20 mile range on batteries alone, but it's not really been designed for that. It's a hybrid and the start of that journey. So Michael Leiters also said that the direction for McLaren was going to be one that provides you with very different looking vehicles. There has been some feedback that pretty much all the vehicles look the same. I don't mind. I love the look of the Artura, love the 570, love the 720. I think that design just looks stunning. But it will be interesting to see what they come along with. As we know, the Solus was a wildly different looking thing. So I'm quite excited to see what lies on the horizon there as well. But something else caught my eye in this article that I find quite interesting, and in the UK market we're talking about here, he quite explicitly stated that 200k should be the entry point for McLaren ownership. As we know, they used to have the sports series, so you could, McLaren's around 150k, a bit more mass produced were indeed available. And he says that they should be a low volume, high quality company. So high end of the mark, but low volume. Whereas before you could argue that McLaren were kind of going for volume sales, which is why they had to give their cars away at one point and provided some very lucrative offers. And you can see that now. You can see that reflected in the values of the used cars that are out there. So if you look at a 720, it's way down to the likes of the competition. For example, an F8 Tributo, and even let's take a 997 Porsche Turbo S, awesome car, 911 Turbo S, love them. That's why I have a Taycan Turbo S, but the 911 Turbo S 997, let's say 2012, is still commanding about 80,000. And if you look at a McLaren 570S, it's the same price, even though it's 5, 6, 7 years newer. All right, so McLaren do have a problem with the residuals of their car. They recognise that. And they have to do a lot of work to address that and improve that situation. And they do that by limiting supply and ensuring that the second-hand market isn't flooded with cars, which keeps the values up, right? So there's a lot of work to be done there. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they manage that. One other thing in this article caught my eye as well. And he was quite open about the fact that previously McLaren have brought cars to market before they were properly ready. And I think we saw that with the first iterations of the 720S. And indeed, the Artura has been delayed. It's already over a year late. And I think customer orders are just finally starting to drop, which is great because we've seen a few out on the road, potentially. Don't know whether they're factory cars or customers, but you know, you can see it building and it is going to be a great car. But it was interesting to see that he was quite open about this, that basically cars have been brought to market that weren't quite ready. They weren't developed enough to be ready for prime time. And that's why we've seen this huge delay in the Artura. As we know, they had the press cars with a few incidents there earlier this year, and they've delayed the Artura launch so that it is absolutely spot on. And I hope we are going to see indeed something that is indeed very reliable, because it's a great looking car and I want it to do well so much, because it's a great car, stunning car, and who knows, one of these days I might pull the trigger on this. But I wanted to talk about this because I really wanted to hear your thoughts. Do you think the direction that McLaren are taking here is the right one? I'm struggling with it a little bit. I understand they have to delve into other markets. They have to sell cars. They're a car manufacturer. They need to be selling cars, and whether that's SUVs or sports cars or supercars or hypercars, they just need to be selling cars. So they are diversifying a little bit. But the question is, does it dilute the soul of McLaren? Do you think it does? I'd love to hear your comments. So do feel free to comment below and let me know if you think it's the right direction for McLaren. But I really wanted to talk about this article because there was a lot in it that caught my eye. And that was it for this one. Just a quick catch-up, quick conversation on the points raised in the article. See you very soon on the next one. Bye for now.